Alright, I'm doing a little cleanup while I got the steering off of here. Well, probably not going to be able to see that very well. There's a lot of dirt on the ground from all the stuff I've been picking out. So the next segment of this is I've decided to just take the inner fender out. That way I can get a good paint on it, but I also need to get right about behind there into the firewall where all the leaves and stuff fall down in between the two, and it's rotted out, and every time it rains it just dumps water into the floor. So I think I'll do it like that and not take the fender off, because the hood's attached to the fender. So to get the fender off, got to take the hood off, and all I really need to do is get the inner fender out right now. So doing the hood and fender and all that will come later when I've got the new place. One of the things I want to note is all these little screws. I got a bag for them, so whenever I take those things out, all the fasteners that I'm using on this, I'm going to put them in a bag and label it so I know what they are. Alright, I'm working on getting this inner fender off, and if I can get the camera to see what I'm seeing. So right there, there's a speed nut behind there, and you can see this is all rusty. That's why I'm taking it apart, clean this rust up. So the speed nut's not locking, so I'll have to get back behind there with a screwdriver and get that out. It's pretty much what you run into on these older vehicles that are rusty. It's going to have to come up with creative ways to get the fasteners out. So up in there is where I got the hole in the firewall. You can see where it kind of mates together there. That's where the leaves and stuff catch, and it's put a hole in, just rotted a hole in the firewall. So if I get that inner fender out, I should be able to get to everything and get it cleaned up. So this is the fender part here. I might take these out, and that way I can get behind there and clean that real good. But that'll probably be more of a later date when I pull the fender off. Alright, I got the speed nut out. So I soaked it in PB Blaster and worked on some other stuff. And then I got these needle nose channel locks up in there just to grip it enough, and then I was able to get the screw out, or the bolt out. So what's supposed to happen is this locks up into the fender, so whenever this is torqued it doesn't spin. That way you don't have to put a nut on the back side. Sometimes you just can't get to the back side of these things. But on examining this, there's a piece broken right here that's supposed to curve around, and that's what locks it into place, and it's just old and rotted, and it broke off. So that's why I had to do it like that. So that's, like I said, that's pretty common on these old rigs. This stuff's, you know, they don't make them to last 30 years, 20, 30 years. So that's what rebuilding them is all about, though. Going through and replacing all this stuff and putting new parts in it, cleaning stuff up, and making them better. Okay, the inner fender's out, and you can see kind of the problem areas of this. This is where the battery hold down, or a battery tray bolts up, one of its mounting points, and you see where it's the water and, I don't know, maybe even some battery acid or whatever comes down and lands. So here's the broke piece that I was talking about earlier off of one of those little clips that holds it in place. So it's already been repaired a little bit, but it just needs all the rust cleaned up and repainted. So here's the other area that I was trying to get to. So that's where they made up against each other, and they got that little edge there for, I don't know why. And apparently it's for holding water and getting holes. You can see right through where it's Swiss cheese there. All that area I'm going to be repairing while I'm in here. That's one of the whole goals of doing all this, is clean all that stuff up. This is what I didn't clean out up in that area, where I had to soak it down with PB Blaster to get that screw out, or bolt out rather. So back on this side, well, I don't have any light, so it's all, that's the other side of it. It's pretty nasty up in there. I'll have to figure out how much I'm going to do. Yeah, got too much sun glare. Anyways, get stood up here. That See, it leaks right in here and then puddles up. Even though I put primer on, the rust stop primer, it's not going to do much for standing water. I mean, it's good stuff. It just can't do standing water on there. So that's why it's important whenever you, if you're going to prime your car and leave it in primer, it's got to be kept to where you're not going to get moisture and dirt and everything on it, or moisture and water on it, or else it will rust right through that primer. Even a good rust stop primer, standing water, it'll just rust right through it. So you got to put some sort of sealer on it to seal that up if you're going to keep your car in primer. Alright, I'm to the stage of cleaning the rust off this inner fender. I'm using a navel jelly on there so it converts that rust. I've already come through and did my cable grinder on this. Flies attacking me over here. So, yep, I'm just going to let it do its thing. And you're right, this is not a Dodge part right here. I went to the junkyard and got one of the Ford Explorer intake manifolds, and this was the heater tube on it that wasn't broke, so I'm going to try to clean that up and salvage it, and might use it, might sell it, don't know. Alright, I'm on round 2 of doing the navel jelly, so I put it on there and let it dry up real good, couple coats, and then come back and wire weld it, and now I'm back on the last coat that I think I'll need on here. So basically, you can see all the white stuff. That's where it's converting the white and the black stuff. So any of the brown spots is still the rust that's left that needs to be converted. So I'll wait on that just a little bit. I went ahead and took the battery tray out since it's kind of nasty too and is right in the same area. So I'll get that cleaned up and painted too. So it's still, the navel jelly's still wet, but you can see as it dries out and converts, it's changing it to black. So I'm doing some of the area where that rot was there. You can see the white patches where it's already drying out, and then back behind here. So you can see where it's dried out and it's starting to convert all the stuff. So once all that's done and clean, I'll prime this and then paint it. I'll probably just put since I have the slick seal, I'll probably prime, slick seal, then paint. Alright, I'm getting everything ready to sand down. I'm just going to do a 180 right quick. It's already wire wheeled and cleaned up with Purple Power. So I had to cut short how much I'm going to do, because it's raining, or it's been raining outside, and it's going to rain over the next couple of days. So, got Jim outside for now, so that means got a little bit of a timer on here to get these parts sanded and cleaned and primed and move them back out of the way. I was wanting to do more on the Ramcharger, but with the rain, I'm not going to be able to do anything on the outside. So that's just the way it is. Unless you got a shop to work out of, these are the battles you have to fight. Alright, I got the Ramcharger inner fender painted. I tried using that slick seal, and I'm used to painting with this heavy body Van Sickle paint, and that stuff's thin. It's real thin. So I'm going to have to learn techniques on it because it's completely different, but it's a really great product. I didn't slick seal my power steering box, but I don't really need it. I was just practicing with it anyway for other projects. So I'm still learning how much paint coverage, whenever I mix my parts up and everything, how much paint coverage I get. And so this was enough to get this and my power steering pump, and that's about it. I was running low on the rest of my pieces over here. So the good thing about the Van Sickle paint is I can turn right around and grab my rattle can, and it's the same stuff, and rattle can it. Now, of course, the rattle can don't have hardener in it, so whenever I do the fender, whenever I did the fender over here it's not exactly the same paint because it doesn't have a hardener in it, but I want to make sure this was good. Those other pieces really don't need it. And that paint's pretty good. I've used it for years and it holds up very well. But this being going to have rock chips and other stuff coming at it, you know, I want it to be a little harder there. But yeah, come out very good, very good. Good, well, we're not going to be able to tell texture, but there's really no texture in this. This stuff just flows out so good.